Before we are everything, that's where it starts. That's why I lift the name of Jesus, because it is the name that has sustained me. I'm not ashamed of the good news of Christ. Let me take this opportunity to really say, Pastor T, now Pastor K in absentia, as Uti has said, the ngumntana walapha ngixa qala ARK. Sasino babongile moto, sino ole tumaqude gogo. It started here. Then this 410. I was very happy for the 410. Izola, zindawo zethu ezoli 10. Then hlale look mna. Ndingumntana walapha. We looked forward to coming on Sunday. We were very excited. Xa siza apha sizothathwa egate na 40. Size ARK siphume siyothenga green buns sigoduke. It was fun. It was something that we celebrated. We were young people in fire for Jesus. And look where Jesus has put us. Amen. I'm ndingumntana wase-ARK Christian Church Mthatha, under the leadership of Pastor Don Phillips nomam Nomsa Phillips. I have been given a permission to come and talk. When Uti invited me, I was very happy, because I love talking to young people. I love talking to people in general. You can take me on sesqoqweni. If I'm going to talk to people, I'm happy, because inhliziyo zabantu zivulekile ukufunda izinto ezintsha. You know, uPuthulani, what he has talked about, I'm very happy. I read a book, Ethi Choice, Gayton Mackenzie. And when he talks about prison life, you see that it's not a joke that people think it is. There's more that underlies, and I'll challenge people to read that book, and you'll understand the pain that those people are going through. But when you read that book, you get compassion and be like, yo, those people go through a lot. Thank you so much. You know, when you have such a platform, and God ministers to his people, you never know where to start talking. But I'll start talking briefly. I have written this book. This is my baby. I feel like I've given birth to a child. It's called The Dissonant Rainbow. I have it in the car. If people want it after, you can consult me. But in this book, I talk briefly. Then I bachelor with crop and soil science. Then I honors with soil science effort. Then I masters with soil science effort. And then after that, in the Fumani Scholarship in 2016, I from the Ireland, then the courses in Austria, and I did my other courses in France a whole year. And I'm in Uganda, Africa. So I've had a taste of the world and a taste of home. And I've visited Kenya, I've visited Morocco. I know the setting of Africa. You know, in this book, just a summary, I just review, because I had people asking me questions about Africa. You know, when you're abroad, abantu bakubuza nge-Africa, oh, so in Africa, do you have lions? Do you have elephants? Tell me. And I would say, you know, I was raised in a cave. I grew up in a cave. And my mother would give me to baboons. They were my nannies. And they would go collect berries and bananas. They would come back, and my pet was a cheetah. And so when I went to the airport, you know what happened? I was taken by my giraffe from the cave, because some of my siblings live in the trees. So it would put me in the airport, and then from the airport, I would take a flight and come to study here. So when I come back, it's the same routine. My giraffe is waiting for me in the airport. I tear off my clothes. I put them in the bins, and then my giraffe takes me home, and then I get back to the routine. Why was I saying that? Because it's stupid to ask me. So that is the context of Africa that other people have. So in the South African context, I had to explain. But so how is South Africa? What happens there? And actually, it pained my heart to say South Africa. Well, you know, it's complicated. Abantu abamhlophe, they do this, and that's what and Tina said. I always had to say, Tina sizineni, Tina singo and Tina sizi gardeners. Abantu abamhlophe sirenda kubo apha South Africa. That's what it is in reality. Ndoba abazali bethu sikhule interaction esinayo nabelungu. Umuntu samani useba nani siya kwabhasi kamama. Okanye nani ndibona umlungu evenkileni. Uleqa ibicycle yomntana omlungu okanye isithuthuthu iphele lapha. That's the interaction. I started having interaction nomlungu ndisenza honors. I was struggling to hear him. He tells me to do the work, and I'm not sure if I heard it. And I even started the recording. This news, that's reality. I was a graduate as a fourth. Didn't degree already. So it pained my heart, and I was like, this is not what it's supposed to be. And I started writing reviews because so I started writing reviews, and when I narrated the story, Abelung would say, you're really intense. You look angry. Why are you angry? Because with time, with reading history, I review history in this book, and I want to make someone angry. Umdomnyama especially, to see where we come from. But you know what? You can't own a business. Wena, tingupas, wena you are whatever you are. So I go back to that. Why am I talking about this? Because the Tanga Youth Can 1976, it was an education system, Ipande education system, that was saying, Ndomnyam, be a draw of water and a who of food. That's what we were. Ucho Umkruma, the former president of Ghana. I explain in Lela, SEO, Jinaban Bamyama Belungin. So in this book, I go through history. Ne acts that were there were set the 1912 Act, Yom Shabe, Salwana, and Gayo Nangok. You know, when I drive from home, when you drive from home, you see I always say on the left, kukhona izindlu zamafama phaya. Kukhona umgogo nabezindlu noma ngamabhuma noma ngamathonto, izindlu zabantu bethu. That's where they live. That's the life they are living. Xa ujonga phesheya uphosa amehlo kukho iPhomakazi lendlu ebhunu. Luxury. Is that the life you want to continue living? That's what I talk about in this book, and I stipulate in the Bega Pand. This is where we are coming from. That's recent, 1994. And it's still rolling. It's adlala. How? You know, youth in 1976 fought for umdomnyama ayeko funzo ngolubangelo lwakhe. Umdomnyama anikwe better education engamenzi nesi imenze ipolice ayindona zama nesi imapolice itishala ingo clerk nantona wangafumana igqwetha limnyama unless uphushile watyhala ngesifuba ogqirha abamnyama uSteve Biko he did medicine although why expel wabulawa ngolahlo babulawa ngalo. That is our legacy yomntomnyama. Asikwazi ubuya umva sivuthe and talk about other things. Funeka sihlale sithi ngenyani apha siyasakhohlakalwa ngumuntu omhlophe and bacaphukela abantu abamhlophe. I hate their legacy. I hate what they did with passion. But no, this is the end of it. Come at me, let's die. If we perish, we perish. We are fighting for generations. silwele. Someone died so that we are here. Asikwazi ugqitha ngathi ayenzeka ngaloo nto leyo. We can't just live our lives like nothing has happened. But imagine, I was reading, I love Steve Biko, he's my hero. I was revisiting his book, I Write What I Like. I would ask you to read it. That guy was brilliant. He lived ahead of his time. Things that he talks about in development, integration, racial integration, that I talk about on my book. At the end, when I close the book, I'm talking about integration. On humanity terms. Let's be friends. Come to my house, because gone is the time there are people who I freak we can't. Not now. Because he has to. Now I switch my tongue. Africans can't feel good. If I feel like I do it because I want. That is the South Africa that we want to see. So the interaction that we should establish, it's in our terms. I do it because I want. The supervisor called me when I came back from France. I didn't have a job. I went to Kenya. I stocked shoes. I just need money, and I printed this book. He talked to me. I went to him. They said, I want to finish the master's. I said, but no, you can't finish. You can't. What are you going to do with the third master's? You don't need that. Please come to me. I have a scholarship for you. I have a topic for you. I have a project for you. I have everything for you. It's in my terms. I said, well, maybe yes. I'll take that. Why? Because Ngogu, it's my option. That is what we want to see. That is what Hector Peterson fought for. That's what they died for. But we have a responsibility. It's a responsibility. Umntu omnyama akakakhululeki ngokwezezimali. Leyo inyani. We're not economically free. I'm sure when they look from wherever they are, or Hector Peterson, their hearts break when they look at us. Because we are concerned ngezinto that are not developing anything. We are concerned ngoba ndizophuma elokishini, ndizothenga iGTI, irent iflate 8,000, manzi ovaya apha elokishini, phinde ndijike. Sinxiba amabitso, Louis Vuitton, and all and on and all. Ubomi bethu esibuphilayo singabantu abatsha bangoku bu-superficial. Siphilela ii-weaves singamantombazana, siphilela i-makeup, siphilela i-makeup ezithente, siphilela i-high heels. But there is a greater calling than that. Can you imagine that someone died? Ubombake, Steve Biko, he emptied his life. But if I die, if I'm a bulan, but it shall be known. Uti no way to it shall be known. What are we saying? Sitini na kubanda na bazemva kwetu. Siphe ndaba sizwaswenga apha sipitize sizibitile siphilela uthenga imoto siphilela installments. I normally say ndathi ebomini bam I'm not saying umuntu othenga imoto nge-installment wenzeni, but I told myself that I will never drive a car unless I buy it cash. I bought my car cash this year. I'm not bragging. I bought a second hand that has a lot of things to be taken care of, but I was like, all I need is to be from point A to point B. And it dingy indo. It's not a blessing if it takes from me. But every month, it's 8,000 yomlungu. That I ndikwazi uphila ndine installments abantu ngokuba ba sophisticated ngoba namakhanda kolwethu ukutya. Iselityala. It takes from you. It is the legacy ehandishwe over ngabazali bethu bebengena option bona. Omamzali wayebhatala school fees samqala kwame-40. Ematyala wethu ayekho 13,000 ke thina, that was a lot of money. Umama wayeboleka imali andazi wayesenza, I don't know how she did it. but into endiyaziyo uba yayilityalo emva kwetyala. But can you imagine us, kule generation, siphela lama i-iPhones, amatyala, living for an iPhone. If I can't buy it cash, ndiyazihlamba izandla zam. That is the legacy that was left by Steve Biko. When you read about ubomi bakhe, umuntu bebesokola besihla benyuka be-establish imibutho yomuntu omnyama, be-establish black consciousness, behambe bethetha bengenamali, bekhangelwa ngamabhulu. He was living that life. Omama Winnie Mandela babephila ubomi bokugaca. Do you think into esiyenzayo, is that all we can offer singabantu abatsha ngoku? It's just that, is it all? I talk to graduates ezintsha. We see graduates, we feel entitled that we should be given jobs. The reality of the matter is that akho misebenzi. That is the reality. Because why kungekho misebenzi? Because ngoku there's a lot of mechanization of things. Izinto senziwa manually. Uba umama bengu-clerk ebhala, akho mntu ubhala computer. It just needs one person to operate here and there. That means ezibhankini ngoku i-retrenchment, ukudenda okuninzi. It's not our motherland, guys. Ukudenda kwabantu ngoku ungena ebhankini ucofa uba ntontontonton ufuna udrowa imali ikusendele i-SMS, usuhambe uyohlala phansi, uhlala kwakho phansi, ungena ekhompyutheni uprint i-statement sakho uphume uhambe. Ebhankini akwazi ungena uphume ungathethanga namntu. In Europe, apha bendihlala khona, uyakwazi uthatha itroli ulayishe igrosari yakho uhambe uyoziskenela into zakho uphume ngomnyango uthethanga namntu. Jobs akukho nje apha qha. It's even worse pie. Everything is getting, it's robotics. So umsebenzi is bound into yoba ungabikho. So what do we do singabantu abatsha? Do we sinxiba igawuni zethu sihambe siyozenzela intlekise yom ezibhulorhweni endleleni siphakamisa iplacards? What does that give us? Isithobela isidima noba imfundo into ehloniphekile ebazaleni bethu yinto engento ngoku. Imfundo ayiyonto ingento. Into engento kungafundiseki komuntu ofundileyo. Because ngoku sinabantu abafundileyo abangafundisekanga. Uzawuphilela uprint isivu uhamba umane uyofaka isivu, mna ndibuye ndathi andizuqeshwa andizocela umsebenzi. Andizuhamba mna ndihamba ndifake, anditsho uba abantu banga-apply. That's personal, that's me. Ndazixela uba, you know what, ndizazithengisa izihlangu bendixa ibhaki emthatha ndingenabi nemoto ngoku. I went to buy 95 pairs ezazihlangu zenziwa ngama-size nee-beads zintle. Bendixa ibhaka layishe izihlangu zam, njengoba ndingena ezi-ofisini ndiphoxa ndiphume ndiye kwesibini njalo njalo. Akundizuphuma umuntu angakhange ndasebenzisa isystem le yethu yobolekisa. Boleke ndikunika i-2 months ndizawubuya. Cela inamba yakho. Ndimthi ndixike entanyeni ndimfole ndifuna imali yam. Ndikwazi uthi ndihleli mna kungena i-600. Afone umuntu, hayi ke, that's our parents benibenisela ndiqonda, yo, do you know how much I needed this 600 rands? Bendingenayo. Yebo. Emva koko I could produce my book. Because i-youth ekhoyo thina we want everything done and served in a silver platter because sifundile. Who cares? You know, and I lived in Uganda. I saw my heart bled ngoba iAfrica iyafana nobuyaphi. Our professor bafundile uqhuba isithuthu ukhwelisa mna ndimbhatale into phako 50 cents. Athi umuntu ndine PhD. Why? Because we do not know these Africans who apply. Africans, when you look in the world and in the diaspora, we are decorating the world. Ayikho indawo noya kuyo engenayo eMafrika. But ayikho indawo noya kuyo umAfrika angadelelwa. Why? Because we are a race that is very inferior. Sizithathela phansi. Asizicingeli, yo, hayi mna ndizayithinda yo, hayi andina. When I applied for my scholarship, sasiba yi-10 uqala kwethu. I was the only one who finished the application. Why? Has the necessary motivation not as fun? Yo, I interview Mna, once you say it's there, I get them. Come what may. That is what Africa is lacking. Tina finish our own because we have been conditioned to be charity cases they lose along. I'll tell you the honest truth, nobody cares out there. I applied and they did an interview over the phone. It's French people. The English accent is not there. usabele uncame bathi bahleli we panel, we are sitting here and we are listening to you. Can you tell us about yourself? And I'm like, yo. I was there, I in the interview, and I flopped. I can't answer about what I'm doing. That is our problem. We can't articulate, we can't explain ourselves. What are you working on? Yo, I kept we have to gather facts. We have to, woman, man up, tell your story. By the mercies of God, I got the bursary out of being the only person who applied. And I went to live in Ireland for the first time. Life here, but everything is nice and easy. But in reality hit me that I'm alone. I'm all by myself. When I got off the plane at Dublin, looking around, I come to the bus, a map, and that's no map. I looked around, okay, passing up and down the bus. I had my ticket, everything, I did everything online. Airport, it was my first time traveling internationally. I had to teach myself to follow roads, signs. Arrows. I still get lost, but airport, I will find my flight. Why? Because I had to teach myself. And my love started. And when it started, the way I was received, that I wish this could happen back home. My professors that had received me, showing me around in the yam yohlala. Apha umuntu ufuna ukuqala umbize prof okanye umbize doc uqala siqala. Why? Because thina sisi Africans, when you get up there, no, we can't. It's happening in our society. Around how do we succeed? And I was taken around, I was shown around. There's still a class in. I spent my 2 weeks in Hombakazi because the Irish accent again is like, it's out of this world. I sat and listened. I got accustomed. That colony is I wake up once I get it. You guys are out. And once I got it, I started engaging in class and talking, this is what is happening. And I did agriculture before and bragging and my professor would wait and be like, okay, what's the context? Tell us about what is happening. So he would want my word. A professor, by chemistry in my department, he would listen to my story. He would call me to his office to sit down with me. And I see potential in you. Why? Because I told myself that I'm going to get this. That is what Africa needs now. Asnayo. And when I started, I got my distinctions. Do you think that's a course? No. I'll memorize the hell out of them and get along with life. Yeah, and it was a different story when I because anything even the answer, I would compare it with home. Department of Agriculture ophi. Uskudibana nama-comrade akurecruitela umbutho andifuni comrade ndifuna u-agriculture. Because thina indlela esiphila ngayo singabantu abamnyama into yoba ngu-inner ethe, what do I get out of you? After ndikuncedile kaloku yebo uyafika edipartmentini kukho usecretary oyichepisi onganamsebenzi kwanawo ongakanoba ufuna ntoni apha. Sithi thina abantu bamnyama. The difference is that xa ndingene ofisini ngapha eFrance udame ngeenyawo into khona, how can I help you? What do you need? Talk to me. Xa ufika apha umuntu orhabula iti yakhe umlibazisa uba ogqiba xa buya ngomsa akafani nobuthini. Mangapha amaxhokozana asuka ezilalini aza bakwa-Home Affairs axela uba ubuye kule veki ne-affidavit ayikho umuntu osayini umuntu omnyama ke lo. Because if we have to look at the failures that we see around us, masijonga ngaphakathi. Because we are so used, in South Africa, I talk about that in my book, that in South Africa we are so used to abantu abamnyama ublame imali zonke izinto ezifeyila around us because thina sasicinezela. So what? Apartheid, this and that happened. I hate someone who manipulates people in apartheid. That's why I want people to read and understand. Then get over it. Where to from here? So Africa is failing because andifuna ujonga ngaphandle sithi funeka silungise thina. Yabona, if you can take the dream yolutsha lika-1976 noTata uMandela bonke abanye Steve Biko, I mention him all the time, or Robert Sobukwe, into yabo, they were goal oriented. Babefuna into babefuna, babefuna inkululeko yomntu omnyama. Sifuna ntoni thina? Sifuna xa uqhuba imoto yakho ugqithe uthi amanzi. Is that your dream? Because it's what happens. Noba awuyenzi literally, but sifuna ufilishwa xa ufika endaweni. But you know what, hayi kaloku andifundile. So what? Ndifundile. I don't have an income now. I make ends meet. Ndiyayazi intsokolo. Why? Ndiphila ndigqitha apho kwenza ndizoyazi umuntu othi akaphangele sokola wenzani, but mna the difference is that xa ndiphuma ndiphethe incwadi yam yona. Yakwazi umuntu uthenga nge-200 rand qona, yo ndatshona nepetrol. So graduates, I want to talk to graduates. I would be very embarrassed uba ndingava kuthiwa igraduate esisuka apha ecaweni okanye esisuka ecaweni yam iphakamise iplacard pha endleleni. Abantu beyotoyitoya phana bucinga Thixo, what's next? What can I do? What can I do? What do I do with what I have? Asizuba na graduates ezifundileyo who can't help in the surrounding yazo. Sinabantu abaphuma ngebenyonyovu yemoto bahambe bayokhalazela inkunkuma. Theni engagatherisi ni society ni community nicholela inkunkuma. Siphilela loo nto leyo yoba abantu bahle estratweni nazi ii-diapers phambi kweyadi yakho. Azilahlwanga ndim ziphambi kweyadi kabani ngoku. Sikwi-era yokuba ngaba singabantu abamnyama eSouth Africa senze, we have to do, we have to act. Uyi-graduate wanzi maths, gather bantwana. Ukwidrama kuya-actwa, gather. Ngoku sikwi-era yokuba let's share our skill. I've shared my skill. There's a lot of things you'll get. I talk about business, I talk about politics, I talk about education. Education system, you have to feel, what do we do about it? So colors, so shout this. If you are whining, you are just part of the problem. You're not the solution. Ngoku, we are talking to a youth that will become solutions. Ngoku, we are declaring job creators than job seekers. We are not job seekers. Until when? Ngoku, we are talking to abantu abafuna usebenza. And ye ndivale ke ndingakhange ndithethe ngolima. That indlela yomntu omnyama isuka iqala ekulimeni iqala iphele ekulimeni. Thina singabantu bolima livelihood zethu. But look at us now. Sinkinqa ispinach kwasiba. Umuntu nomhlaba eyadini. Imagine xa ubuya emsebenzini ubuye uthi vandabani uhlakula indawana, ufaka umgquba, ufaka ispinach, ufaka ilettuce, ukhepha. Amagqaba ayi-12 espinach awubetha ko-20 rand ngoku. Is that the life we want to live? Can we continue living like that? Why? Because you still need food. Imagine bangabe igadi zethu sonke apha ecaleni besishare WhatsApp beza groups ezicawundi yazo groups ecawa apha mama bafike beshare imithandazo ekuseni. Uba ngabe umuntu beshare ifoto yegadana yakhe. I will pose that mfundisi. That's a challenge that I'm posing. Please, if it starts at church, can you imagine? Uzakosulela no mess. Unetswele lakho nemifino yakho. Because if we are talking about economic freedom, asikwazi uhambela kude ekuqaleni ukuzilimela ukutya, sustainability, being productive, producing for yourself and for your family. Usulele nomnye nomnye. Can we start that, Bazalwane? Can we do that? Can you promise me? Abantwana mabayazi bayimbotyi zikhule egadini. Aziveli evenkileni, aziveli kwiplastic ezikiplastic akayimbo. And another thing that I'll pose, I am here, I've written this book because I read. I'm a reader. I've managed to conquer the world and go everywhere because I read. I started reading as a young girl. And these Valentine novels, they be novels. I'm doing novel. I would read romance because that was not acceptable, but because I love reading, yeah. And I'm here because I read. How do I do it? Every day, almost every day, I wake up at 5:30. I read about 20 pages a day. Every month, I read about 4 books. I wouldn't be here I wouldn't have written a book if I didn't read. Why not in our churches establish libraries? Church libraries. Apho umuntu azawukwazi ungena enkonzweni azobuleka incwadi kubekho isystem ekhompyutheni. Khona ii-librarians apho abantu bafunde e-14 naphi na. That can work around that system. Ebandleni. Bookshelf. Nice. Nje ukuhobisela wallpaper. Ngasithi ke ubekuka i-carpet ibizasakhela ii-shelves pha ezencwadi. Can you imagine? Can you picture that with me? Zii-shelves phaa njengoba ila wallpaper ingenzanga nto that space kufakwe ii-bookshelves abantu baze neencwadi. Imagine iincwadi ezihlala nje ufanele ziphela zikrazulwa ngabantwana emakhaya. Donate incwadi ebandleni, donate incwadi. You borrow a book, we work on a faithful system, uyiboleka incwadi uyifunde uyibuyise. Sifundise abantwana bethu ufunda because our parents didn't have that time. Ebebheka kwabhasa abuye ngo-5 eshixize ediniwe ufuna ulala azavuka ngo-4 ekuseni ngomso. What do we have thina? Sine-social media sihlala kuyo. Imagine if you're spending your time on reading. Singabantu abamnyama, we can be better people. We're talking of African development. But a country or a nation or a continent enga investiyo ekufundeni, it is bound to fail. Nanini na? Can you imagine if we invest in knowledge, my people perish because they lack knowledge? Oh Daniel, babezi intellects because they read the scrolls, babehlala bafunde. Thina sifuna intelligence yo Daniel, but we don't want to go through what they went through. They read. That is what I'm posing out and asking churches I go to, please, church libraries. Let's read. Let's take the culture yofunda, because singabantu abamnyama silapha because asifuna ufunda. Yabona, when I'm closing, ijangi abantu bahlala esitratweni, ijangi by the way zipindawo yonke, street kids, street adults. Street adult will sit siphethe incwadi on the side begging, phethe itot. Umuntu agalele qompi icoin. It is reading. Can we encourage a reading culture and farming culture, self-sustainability? That is how we attain our economic freedom. We'll make them smile, or Steve Big, wherever they are. We'll make them smile, or Hector Peterson, because their dream is being fulfilled. Thank you.
You see? I told you. This is a powerhouse. We have Monma given the time. She could continue and go on and on. Wow. Thank you so much.